And everybody have their microphones muted there? I'm still hearing some background noise there. Okay, so I guess one of the things I'll start off, and not directly related to, absolutely directly related to tonight's program, but boy, the HF bands have really gotten very lively out there. I think we were kind of surprised even when we were doing 7QP, 20 meters basically being open almost all night long out there. And so anybody that's out there looking for new DX entities or zones or grid squares, you know, now's the time to start getting active out there. I've been able to, you know, for the last probably 5-6 years, it seemed like every year I could always add about 1 or 2 brand new DX entities to my DXCC. And in this past month and a half, I think I've added about 8 new DX entities to my DXCC. So it has really been very active out there. And it's every day, it's always a pleasure to get out there and see what's going on. We still got someone that has a mic that's open out there that we're getting some feedback on. So please mute your mic. So I've been going through a bunch of stuff for the last 3-4 months, talking about DXing, contesting, awards, and how to go about doing it, what's there is to offer, difference between DXing and contesting. I'm sure everybody's heard enough of that. But one of the things I ran into a little while back that has just really fascinated me was, I think all of us we all started with a technician license. And just with a technician license, you know, how far can we go? Can we really do any DXing? Or are we kind of stuck in just a pit there where we just don't have enough privileges out there? So I think most of us kind of believe that technician licenses are very restrictive, and it's really only good for VHF and UHF. And that's about the best that we can do about it. There's no real opportunities to do any DXing or contesting. And so you're stuck in this little hole. So let's see if if any of those statements have any truth to it. So we're going to start off by, well, what does a technician have for privileges? So here's a nice list. They have a little slice up on 80 meters for doing CW, 40 meters, 15, and 10 meters. 10 meters also gives you CW, RIDI, data. Now the interesting, and also a little chunk of foam up there. Now on all those HF bands, a technician is limited to just 200 watts. So I think most of us have spent an awful lot of time just operating with 100 watts on these bands, and we've done quite well on them. The interesting thing here is that 20 meters is not included in the list for technicians. So it's been excluded, and for a lot of us, 20 meters is that bread and butter band for doing DXing that a lot of us really love and cherish. So there's another spectrum that we all know for technicians, and that's basically 6 meters, 2 meters on up through your VHF, UHF bands. So that privilege there is the same privileges that an extra has, same privileges that a general has on those VHF, UHF bands. So here's another little diagram of kind of showing the same thing. So the first one just shows UHF, and the second one is the VHF bands. Now the interesting thing is, for a technician, you can run 1500 watts on either one of these, either VHF or UHF. So 6 meters, some of us have had enough experience in 6 meters that when 6 meters opens up, it's absolutely incredible on what you can talk to. Sometimes you need the power, sometimes you don't. But when we have good propagation, 6 meters is a good bread and butter band for working a lot of DX. And then the bottom chunk there shows what you have for HF bands and gives you a kind of a pictorial on it. Interesting part on 10 meters, the data part, that also includes FT8. We all know that FT8, if it wasn't for that, for the last 5 years, there wouldn't be any DXing, and there wouldn't be any ability for you to add anything to your DXCC. But with FT8, and here again, you're maxed at 200 watts, you still got a pretty good kick on DXing. Another thing that Anna brought up to us while we were at 7QP is that for FT8, I constantly hear people talk about FT8 being a low power mode. Low power mode. Everybody thinks it's low power. No, it's a weak signal mode. Weak signal mode. There's nothing in that description that defines the amount of power. So it's whatever level of power up to legal limit that you can use that allows you to take and make the contact. It may be a weak signal that the guy's receiving it, but you can throw as much power in it at all. So that might help change someone's perspective about FT8 and how to end up using it and how to be more effective at it. So let's look at awards. This list of awards, it doesn't change for a technician. This is exactly the same list for a general or an extra. That list does not change. You can do the same types of awards out there. That's interesting. So for equipment, if you want to do workup on HF as a technician, it's the same kind of stuff that you would do for any kind of HF operation. It's just that you probably won't have a 1500 watt amp there. You're probably going to be kind of capped at 200 watts or probably just 100 watt barefoot. VHF, UHF, if you want to do EME and other types of work off the top of hills, you're limited to 1500 watts. Same thing that both your general and extra are use. So it looks like pretty much standard equipment. The only difference on HF, most of your HF is going to be done with CW, so you would need to be able to have that ability to do CW. But on that 10 meters, you have the ability to do digital modes and phone and FT8 and other modes like that. So I want to add in there that some of this stuff, we haven't really talked about EME. And I have some friends that do EME type of work, and it's always very interesting about how they track the moon, how it works, their ability to close the deal on certain QSOs, but a lot of that gets done on 2 meters, so it's kind of interesting. So, well, bottom line there, 10 meters is still limited to your 200 watts. But you have the privilege to do basically all different kinds of modes in there. So what I'm going to do is take you through a little case study. Ran into a guy in Utah, Mike White, K7 ULS. He's a technician license, and we want to take a look and see what he has achieved. He was first licensed in 2008, so that means he's been a ham for 14 years. Now that's basically about the same amount of time that I've been a ham. And it's kind of interesting to see how much this guy has done. So I've actually, we've exchanged information, email, and been talking to the guy. Pretty neat guy, and it'll be interesting. So on his QRZ website, he has all these certificates that he has acquired for this last 14 years. So, you know, becoming a ham, you know, it takes a few years to get up and going, but he actually got into the practice of ham radio pretty darn quick. By his second year of being a ham, then he started looking at all these other things that he could try and see and do. And so he branched out with a lot of curiosity to see what he can do. So here he has, like for the sweepstake. Now, he didn't always place first place, but here he was, single operator, low power, got third place for CW. And so what do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years out there of participating and still getting high enough score to get some kind of award out of it. So good old VHF contest. We really don't talk much about that. Most of these guys usually operate on 6 meters, and they usually go to mountaintops. And these guys are mostly doing mountaintop to mountaintop type of stuff. But here again, look at what he has: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 certificates there over his 14 years of being recognized for working that VHF contest. International EME. So if you're going to be doing EME, that takes a lot of knowledge, a lot of hardware, and understanding of how that moon moves around, and how you track things, and how you set up, trying to set up things for contacts for EME type of work. So there's a lot of infrastructure, a lot of networking, working with guys out there to get connected up on it. And this is not a mode that is intended for just a Joe average guy. These guys have to have a lot of skill to know how to do this and be effective at it. So here again, so he has 6 different awards for EME contest. Oh, let's see. Oh, I have the September, I think there gets done twice a year. So there's also one in some other part of the year. So this VHF's sweepstake type things, it gets done twice a year. So here's some of the stuff that, you know, you always hear me talking about DX contest. So here out of Utah, this is on phone. So this would be off of 10 meters. That score is pretty pitiful, but it was enough to end up getting him recognitions there. So he was able to take and again get 8 different certificates out of it to get recognized for doing the DX contest. Let's see. Oh, that was phone. This is CW. CW has a whole bunch more. 10, 11, I think 12. I think he had 12 different certificates off of that. So now we get into World Championships. This is the international, I don't know, IARU. I can't remember exactly what all that stands for. But this is another one where in this contest here, you can get certificates. And again, you can see with all the certificates there, he got a whole lot of recognition out of work in that contest. Now, this is the stuff that really counts, that is really, really hard to do. The VUCC award, that's based on grid squares. And so this is stuff normally done strictly on VHF, UHF type of stuff. So here you can see that he knocked down a whole bunch of awards there. WPX, that's your prefix. So he got an award out of that. The DX Sentry Club, that means you have to have 100 contacts in at least one band and at least one particular mode, either digital, phone, or CW. And you can see he has 6 of these guys out there for different bands and for different modes. That on low power, well, actually, it sounds like it's hard, but I'm assuming most all of these are being done with CW. So at 200 watts, that's going to give him a huge edge to be able to take and knock those down. but not bad for just 14 years being a ham. WAS, worked all states. So you can see he has a buku load of worked all state certificates. And that's one of the things I just got finished on, completing that 9-band WAS. Hey, the CQ magazine comes up with the CQ Worldwide and the WPX Contest. And this is just a screenshot that I did of stuff that he has done, and it scrolls down another page and a half below where I stopped recording stuff. So you can see that he's been very active in that, and also again knocking down some pretty darn good scores when you get into some of these others on basically working those contests. So here he is contesting, and he has a lot of paper to paper his ham shack with it. Tons of miscellaneous stuff. There's a lot of local sprints. There's a lot of state events, and you can see that he has, and again, I didn't capture all those. This is just a little snippet of stuff of what he has on his website on all the different certificates that he has got and got a certificate for. So EME. So this is kind of his ultimate EME category. So he was able to get a contact, and so that's Earth, Moon, Earth, that was over 470,000 miles. One of the things I should have done was got a tape measure out and see how far it got around the Earth on this EME contact. So he knocked off an award for that distance. So this is a kind of a picture of what he does when he's out being a rover. He has a truck that he has a nice antenna that he puts on it. Now these are ones for doing EME. You can see that it has both the azimuth and elevation. So he has a rotator on there to do the elevation that you need for tracking that moon to do your EME type of work. Here's another one. This is that's a 6-meter beam on the bottom, but this is not EME. This is him just working, doing contesting from the top of some hilltop there. So kind of to round things up. So when you to really look at this, take a note there. Look up on QRZ. Look up K7ULS. Look at his website. Scroll down through that thing and take your time, and you see everything that he has done as a technician. It's very impressive. So it's not pretty cool on what he's done. The number of awards that Mike has achieved is virtually endless. I mean, you scroll and you scroll and you scroll, and he has all this information, all the different awards and stuff that he has done. It's mind-boggling. So have a look at his webpage. There's a couple other web pages there. If you want, I can send up this link, and you can take a look at this. That has a lot of background information on stuff that he has done and how he managed to get some of this stuff done to pull off some of these awards that he's gotten. So to sum it up, just because a person has a technician license does not mean they can't be a serious contender for DXing and contesting. So maybe Mike is an overachiever here, but it shows that just because all you have is a technician doesn't mean that you can achieve an awful lot with that very simple license there. So after 14 years of being a ham, he has far exceeded that what most could only imagine in a lifetime. I mean, you look at these things and it's like, I'm never going to be able to achieve all that, but he's managed to knock that off in as little as 14 years. It's absolutely amazing. So he has a serious passion for both DXing and contesting, and anything that he can get an award for, and he gets it. and hangs it up there. So I'm really hoping that after looking at this and going and taking a look at his website, that it helps to take and encourage everyone out there to be active and seek your passion with ham radio. There is so much to see and do and experience and different modes and different things to do in ham radio. It is just absolutely endless, and it can be a lifetime quest to just to scratch the surface. So that's all I had for this evening. It's a real short and simple one, but I hope that everybody kind of enjoyed that little presentation and kind of showed what you can do with just a simple technician license. It kind of, I mean, me as an extra, it's like, well, why do I have the extra? I can do so all this other stuff with these other licenses, or with you know, getting out there and doing things.
Well, thank you, Mike. That's very inspiring, and yeah, I hope it does push people to, go out there and just get involved in one way or another. I've always wanted to do EME myself, and it was something my father always wanted to do but never did, and that's very inspiring. So I'm definitely going to go to this guy's QRZ page. One thing that would be interesting for him would be to make a video of his activities and show, as a technician, all the stuff he's doing. Not just, going to the QRZ page and seeing his awards, but really, having somebody film him while he's out there. And that would be a great inspiration for a lot of people who are going for technician class, because, I mean, to get their first ham license in the first place, because many of them, as a VE, I've done many test sessions in my time, and also as an instructor, I can tell you that most people who want to get a technician license think of MCOM. That's all they want to do is, be able to use their bow function. So they don't understand that there's a whole other aspect of ham radio. They're told, it's just for an emergency, but that's not true at all. This guy would be a fantastic inspiration for a lot of people, because we have a lot of people out there who are very technically oriented that would love to get into this hobby, and that they see what's really available for them, without having to go for general class if they don't want to, or extra, and all the stuff that they can do. I would love to get in contact with this guy, in other words, and see if there's any way we could get something from him to show people, in a
Okay,
class.
Scott, in the second to the last slide there, there was a link there to his YouTubes. So he has a plethora of YouTubes out there.
Oh,
That
okay.
some of his short stuff, some of it is just, him doing, the snow out there. He gets tons of snow there. But some of the stuff shows a little bit on operations and what he has put together. So you can take a look at his YouTube channel and see what that looks like.
Okay, good, because I got a bunch of kids I'm going to be trying to get into ham radio, and that's what I was showing them. Thank you.
Welcome. Any other comments there? Okay, thank you guys. Hope that was hope that encourages people to take and get out of their comfort zone.
Thank you very much, Mike. That's a lot of the activities that I have been drooling over getting a chance to do that I have not had the time to do so. All right. With that, one last call. Anything else for the good of the order?
Yeah, Mike, thanks for calling all of us extras out, right? I mean, really? That's how it's going to be?
Well, I mean, and I'm an extra. I got a full legal. I got 2 full legal limit amps here. I got the top of the line transceiver out there. And when you take a look at what this guy has on his table there, it's just run of the mill mediocre stuff. There's nothing special about it. He didn't break the bank or sell or have to take and get money out of it or go into debt to put his rigs on his table there. It's just average type of stuff that he's done extremely well on.
Just think of what he could do with a flex.
There you go. Look what I did. Well, it's all about persistence, really, and you know, if you're into the, I think what it is once you, a lot of people don't DX or they don't contest, and they kind of don't know what they're missing in a way because they think it's like, well, why would I want to do that? Who cares? But you know, it's like, why would you want to play basketball? It's just throwing a ball through a hoop, and who cares, right? But it's when you really get into it and you start playing basketball, it's all about the skill. So it's the same thing with DXing and contesting. Some people think, well, that's stupid. Why would I want to make spend my time just trying to make a bunch of contacts with other hams? Well, once it sounds dumb, maybe from the at the surface level, but once you get into it and you start doing it, then you realize what skill is needed. And I think that's where you're if you have any kind of competitive streak, that's where that comes in. And and really what it boils down to is what he's done is he's just been very persistent, and he's just kept his passion going. He loves it, and he didn't require upgrading his license or getting very expensive equipment. So from what you're saying, he doesn't use an amplifier?
Nope.
Okay, so there you go.
Oh, on VHF, UHF, yes, he does.
He has a 1500.
No, it's one of the Italian amps there. He doesn't get up that high.
Okay, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But it's fun. He's doing all the fun stuff, so that's the good thing, and that's what ham radio used to be all about. And it was all about building equipment and using it and getting out there and doing, finding out what you can do. So and you find out that it isn't as you say, it isn't as hard as it looks.
No, and for me, I'm an adrenaline junkie. I mean, I love the rush of going after stuff, finding new contacts, looking at my score, seeing what I can do to push it up. Always on that 7QP. That last 3 hours is just trying to squeeze every last contact out of there to figure out, well, do I split and go off on a hunt and peck or a hunt and search there, or do I stick with doing a run?
Mm-hmm.
And do I move around on a different band to try and get contacts? And I remember last year, it's like right up to the bell, I was knocking down contacts right and left as hard as I possibly could to get that score up as high as I could. But it was cool. I mean, it's just I love the fun and love the adrenaline that goes with it.
Well, that's true, and I think that's what it just really takes somebody to get in there and work field day. Doesn't have to be field day. It doesn't have to be 7QP. There's all kinds of contests, just like you show. There's a worked all states. There's all these other smaller contests. There's international contests. There's a lot of stuff out there that happens practically every weekend these days. Mm-hmm. So there's something to do if you really want to try, and you just get into it. Once you get into it, it's like you said. You just don't want to stop because you realize you're getting better. You're getting your score. You're getting contacts, and especially the last few hours of the contest, you're not the only one out there. All of them want to get as many contacts as they can. So whether you're running, calling CQ, or you're searching and pouncing, you're going to find a lot of people out there that you can make contacts with. So you up your score as much as you can, and that's kind of the strategy. There's all kinds of seminars and YouTube videos and all kinds of information about how to do work contests and the best way to do it, and strategies and all that kind of thing. And I think that that's what's great about field day, that we can get people to come out and get on the air and start and actually contest and see what the thrill is. So
it's exciting to get 450 contacts sideband in 18 hours. So
I mean,
it was great having you and I sitting back to back, just banging them out on 20 meters. It was sweet.
But you can't hear me on the CW, but we can hear you on the voice. And Anna was just running. First of all, high power. Secondly, a beam, a hex beam antenna. And so between those two. She had a real powerhouse station going there, and just pulling everything in from the East Coast all the way across the Midwest to the some of the more local stuff. And we forgot to mention, Italy was having, I think, two maybe different some events that were going on, ham radio events. Maybe one was a local contest. We were getting in Italian stations left and right, they were booming in. Now they didn't always hear all of us, but we all I think we all made contacts with some Italian stations.
And we had a German QSO. I made
And
a
a
German
German,
QSO
yeah.
in the morning.
So Europe was booming in there. I mean, literally booming in. When I say booming in, they were very loud stations. You'd think that they were just somewhere in the region, but these were real Italian stations, and Germany, and I think I heard a few other European stations, but it's probably a long path. But anyway, we were getting those stations, and so yeah, we had a lot of fun. And when you get that kind of stuff, you really, that's like the cream of the crop.
And every time I swept the digital bands, there'd be the two same two tracks on the waterfall.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, it's just. I think we just have to get more people. I hope everybody gets to come to the field day.
Yeah, field day, I kind of feel it's nice to get the old timers in there to do things, but it's also nice to try and encourage some newer people to get in there and give it a try, at least for a little while, so they can get their feet wet.
Well, the amp and beam will be there too for people to try out.
Cool.
The,
By the
the
way,
amp, the amp might be a little bit of a problem on field day.
No way. I'm gonna, I'll run it right up to the limit. There's nothing like running a kilowatt and a half amp at 100 watts. It'll be
Yeah,
I'm telling
Anna, I think you might have a skunk out your back door,
you.
or is it a cat?
No, the little rat dog. Yeah, I have a pair of rat dogs.
Is that a glass door behind you there, or a mirror?
No, it's just an empty doorway.
Oh, well,
Sorry,
it was some kind
I'm
of little
cooking and
outfit.
paying attention to you people at the same time. So I'm running back and
I
forth.
see.
Hey, let's not forget Olin's a real DXer. Olin, you might have a few words to say.
Well, I'm really happy that I've been getting into CW. I didn't do this super amount for 7QP. I got 105 contacts, 29 of which were CW, and I
Yeah.
managed to get 4 new CW states out of that. So that was. So now I've got an equal number of DXCC CW of 24 and was CW at 24.
All right.
So I'm looking forward to the next contest and seeing if I can skag off some. And I'm not a speed demon yet. And most of these people are racking along. They're at 35, 40 words a minute. Most of them about 35. There's a few 30ers and some hanging in there about 20. So I have to work at it. And I've worked up a couple of systems to let me slip in there and make contact. And my system is I find a station, I listen to it, but you can get kind of nervous and they'll leave you if you don't jump in there. So you listen to what they are, you figure out their call sign, you figure out the rhythm they're in. And then the bad ones, contests are the ones that require a serial number. I have a hard time with numbers still, but I'm working on it. But I just keep a list on the numbers that they've worked. So I keep running down there. I'll go like 012, 013, 014. The breaker in that is the big stations that are running multi stations at the same time. They're all on the same numbering system. So the guy you may be listening to on 20 meters goes 012, and then all of a sudden he's up to 15. Don't worry about it. Just catch it up and then have a good idea what number he's going to send me. And then to double check that, I'll wait for his next contact and see what number he sends them. And then I'm gone. So that's my secret on that. The other thing is just like on the QSO parties, make sure you print up the abbreviations that they're going to use for counties. I mean, the 7QP is a big list, and then some of the states do the state last. For the 7QP, we go ORBEN for Benton County. or WABEN for Benton County, Washington. Well, some of the states that put like the county, like if we used Oregon, it would be BENOR. So the state is last 2 digits. So you have to watch out for that. So I say print that out. That's a good help for you. And then some states have a bonus station. If you work that station, you get 100 or 200 free points for that particular station. So want to look for that. But that's my secret of sneaking up on them, if you will, to try to get a contact in there. Now, some
for you.
people would slow down for you. If you want them to go slow, then you're going to have to do call CQ and run at the speeds you want.
Good for you, Olin. You and I were CW at the field day.
I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the things you said, that's how I started out doing it. So, and that's what I teach people too when I teach. Yeah.
Well, the good thing
Exactly.
about contests is you're not going to hear a lot of pro signs. You're not going to hear DE except on some real old timers that got to have that. You're not going to hear K or SK or any of that stuff. You're just going to hear, they're going to have their own rhythm. Like for WPX, they may go CQ WPX or CQ test.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to run their call sign in there. Some of them do it once or twice. And then a lot of them will sign off, or instead of K, you'll get AZCQ, like for P, for Arizona QSO Party. Or you'll get another test. And then after that, you need to drop your call sign in there. And then most people, as soon as they leave you, they're going to send their call sign once and test again, because there might be somebody sitting out there waiting to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
So not going to hear DE or K or all that stuff, and you need to eliminate it too and just play the game. And the other thing is 599 is the rule, so just suck it up. And it may be the weakest signal you've ever heard in your life. You don't care. Just give them a 599 and send them on there. Oh, I forgot a biggie is the cut signs. You need to get used to that. There's N for 9, A for 1, and T for 0. So those you'll hear in most of the time, but the others you'll occasionally hear. Like I heard AA. The first time I heard that, it was for the 11 district there for CQ, or no, it was for one of the ARL things, 11 out there in the Caribbean and the ocean. And I thought, AA, what the heck is that? But it was for 11. So just keep an eye on those, the cut signs.
Well, good for you. It sounds like you're doing a good job copying.
Yeah.
It's amazing, even though you may think that you're slow, you can actually copy a pretty fast clip. So those guys are coming in at 30 words a minute or so, which is like lightning speed. You can actually get it. So that's good.
Yeah. 5NN, I can copy that at any speed and test.
Yeah, sure.
But the rest of it, sometimes. Yeah.
Well, that's where the skill comes in. But thank you for that, Owen.
You're welcome. It's fun.
All right. With that, anything else before we wrap things up?
Well, I guess see you at field day. Oh, well, we have a meeting before.
One more meeting before. Yeah.
All right. And it looks like, we got a ham to be on the call now.
Ham to be.
Maybe. I think they're playing with Grandpa.
Yeah, I keep my Doctor Who Legos up on the computer and she likes to disassemble them. She's taking apart K9 right now.
Just wait till she puts it back together.
She's getting better. She's not 2 yet, so.
All right. I guess we will go ahead and call it for the evening. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody next month. And yeah, start getting your stuff ready for field day.
Just I don't want to keep people because I got here late. How many inches of snow did you get?
Up there, couple of
About a half to an inch
Yeah.
Sunday morning or so.
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun and then sleeping in a tent when it was 20 degrees out.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
So-
big fibber.
So basically Saturday morning or Sunday morning when we got up, the rest of the time it had hail, rain,
Wind.
snow, wind was sometimes got really randy at times. So it was pretty tough getting stuff up there and got it, but it worked. We just learned to work in it and figure out how to handle it. And when we did the good old tennis ball shoots, we just waited for the wind to blow in the right direction for us. But on Sunday morning, I warned everybody that it was going to be probably pretty brutal when we got up. So it was 20 degrees when we got up. Everything was completely covered in white. It was totally white outside at 6 in the morning. When we left there at about 10:30, about 11 there, 10:30, 11, it was mostly gone, but it was still only about 30 degrees outside. I had icicles and snow and ice and stuck all over my camper. So it was kind of gooey getting out of there with everything, but it was a lot of fun. There we go.
All right, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it looked like on Sunday morning getting up there.
Good job.
So that give you an idea about what it looked like?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Not bad.
Oh, look at the beam. Okay.
That was really important. That was very, very good up there.
Well, as Anthony probably told you, I was listening for anything, any sign of you guys, like usual. Heard nothing, except for you, Mike, on 80 meters. I could hear you, but nothing else.
Really? Okay. Well, also Ted got a hold of me. We yacked for a little bit. So he got me. I had another guy that lives just a few miles away from me. I yapped with him for a while. Another guy in Vancouver that's a good friend. He recognized me. We yapped for a while. Got a couple guys over in Central Oregon. They recognized me and we yapped for a little while. So there was, and Yamhill, Dallas, nothing out of Eugene. A couple people out of Corvallis, and I think Jefferson, but that was about it. So anyway, it was good to hear all those guys.
Well, we were mostly on 20 meters, so we're probably going over everybody's head.
Yeah, I would have been the only guy that they would have heard on 80 meters.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yep. And so there's a lot of people that ask me where to find me, and I said just get on your DX cluster and look for W7PRA, and everything that we do is all getting spotted there, so that there's 3 guys that knew exactly where to find me because of our spotting.
Okay. That's fun. Now, I did hear Olin bleed in once. I can't remember if it was on 40 or 20, but it was come and gone.
And most of the work that I did was down on 80 meters was in the extra side of the band. I came up once in a while up into the general side to do a few contacts, but there wasn't that much going on. All the big kahunas were down in the extra side, so that's where I did my work, most of my work.
Okay. Thanks for the report.
Welcome. Sorry we didn't make contact.
Oh, I'm gonna have to put a real antenna up.
You
Go.
know,
I know.
How long have you been staying at?
How long have I been a hand?
The guy that I showed you there, I mean, he's a technician, been only a ham for 14 years, and you got to see what he did.
Yes.
So-
Just different priorities. That's all.
That's you.
And you've had plenty of people offer to come out and help you and just make the problem disappear.
I did buy another vertical.
Verticals they have their place, but you got to know when and how to use them.
Yeah.
And for good old rag chewing, that's not normally what you want to put up there.
I'm aware. Yeah. Besides, Mike, if I didn't do this, you wouldn't be able to pick on me as much. So,
There's so many people out there that give me all this wonderful fodder that I can just pick on left and right. But
My vertical works pretty good at 7QP when it was online. So
Yep.
it's nice to have as a pair.
But there you had elevation, you had a lot of stuff going on. So it was and it gave you the distance that you needed, and it gave you the right kind of, is a good formula for using it.
Yeah, it was never the transmit antenna. The beam was always the transmit antenna. So it was good to have as an additional receive antenna.
well, I thought it was, I didn't have a lot of time to participate, but for the couple hours I did, it was fun. I got my feet wet, and I think, I don't think I've ever heard the New England, the New Hampshire stations were just they were just coming in. So
Band conditions were great,
Yeah.
really good. I mean,
Yeah, a lot of-
they weren't boiling over, but I mean, they were good and strong, and you had lots of good context, and people weren't so squeezed in that everybody was, it's not like a field day where everybody's talking on top of each other. And so in the 7Q people were able to stretch out on the bands, and you were able to go through and pick them off and make contacts without stepping all over everybody.
Well, that's another point, Mike and Joe. There, we had 4 QSO parties going on. I think at least 3, but there were 4. So we had New England, Indiana, I think. Isn't that true? And then
Yeah.
us. And I think, was there one in Georgia, Arkansas, or was that last week? And in any case, we had multiple QSO parties at the same time, so that adds to kind of the fun and mixed as well. I just want to say before we all leave, there's somebody that's new there. I can't.
Yep.
Yeah, AB4IL or JL, is it? Hi. So, what do you think?
Well, I'm a little bit more about me. I'm just getting back in after about a 5-year hiatus. Been licensed since 1993. I've done some field days in the past. I've done some HF, and I struggled this weekend and the last couple of weeks. I've got a new portable vertical. I mean, I'm making my camper a kind of a portable ham station. So when I go out camping, I can get out and wanted something easy. So the trying to challenge and myself and see if I can get back on the air. My not quite sure my Yaesu 840 is doing the job though. I can see it's putting something out, but it could be just pure garbage. And then working with a vertical HF, I really don't have a good location to put a good antenna here where I live, and I'm up in Millersburg. But yeah, it was great seeing the presentation. I do enjoy doing some both DX and contesting. I'm glad to hear that it sounds like there's quite a bit of that. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to get to join you for field day. There may be a camping trip, or I may be there. Looking forward to some opportunities over the years though. And I've actually been here in Lynn County now for, let's see, the beginning of 2000, right before COVID. I moved out here for work and working with Paul. Didn't know he was a ham till I think he sent Anthony an email and let him know that I bought one of these little cheap Chinese 2 meters just to carry around and play with, just to see. And he saw me bringing it in and out of my vehicle, and we got to talking. So, I'm glad to finally be reaching out after 2 years and getting to maybe know somebody other than my next door neighbor.
Great. So you're talking about Paul Lasardi?
Huh?
Which Paul are we talking about?
N0 VLR.
Yeah, Paul Lasardi.
Oh, okay. So you work with him? You work at New Scale?
I work at New Scale, yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, very good, very good. Yeah, we love Paul. So, well, if you're in Millersburg, get together with one or two of us and have lunch or whatever, coffee or something, and we can get to chat if you like.
I hope so. I don't plan on going anywhere for quite a few years, so
Okay, good.
I'm looking to get to know everybody.
Where'd you come from?
Well, previously I was in South Carolina.
Okay.
I was there for about 20 years. I spent a
Okay.
couple of years in China. I was disappointed while I lived in Shanghai. I didn't get a chance to do any amateur radio over there, but
Interesting.
yeah, had to kind of be careful over there. I thought about getting associated with one of the clubs, but that's a little tricky. And
I live in
then
Beijing.
We're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I got
Well,
licensed in Kentucky and originally from Ohio, up near the Dayton Ham Fest.
uh-huh.
That's 20 minutes from my parents' house. So
That explains the 4 in your call sign. Okay. Well, great. What was your name again?
Huh?
What was your name again?
Oh, Ron. I'm sorry. Yeah, I
Ron.
didn't put my first name on there. So yeah, Ron Post.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be in touch through Paul
So
probably.
yeah, if you hear a 4 call out there, speak up. Let me know.
All right. Great. Well, welcome in any case.
And I'm still learning about the group. So yeah.
Okay. If you make it out to field day, then you get to meet everybody in person. So.
Which may be a good thing or a bad thing, depending
Yeah. Right.
on the meeting. Right? I mean,
I've been through quite a few field days over the last however many years, almost. Geez, I don't know if I want to count how many years it's been now.
well, some of the people in this club are really weird. So,
Yeah.
How's that different than any other ham
Like all
club?
of it. Yeah, that's true.
How's that different than any club?
I believe that was the requirements to join.
I'd probably fit right
mission
in. So.
accomplished.
We're the Groucho Marx group here. Anyway.
Mission
Well, that's great.
accomplished, Drew.
Was that?
Mission accomplished, Drew. You got that down, right?
And Ron, I'm from Pennsylvania. I lived in South Carolina and I'm living in Albany. So I'll count on meeting up for that cup of coffee.
At some point, hopefully we can.
See, I'm a stuck-up Corvallis girl. I thought that the depths of, falling to, debauchery would be living in Albany, and here I am living in Lebanon. So
Which is even worse.
Could be Sweet Home.
It could be. But, I'm not that in love with my brother to live in Sweet Home.
Sweet
Yeah, I
Home, the
almost
one
bought a
town that
house
everybody
in
can pick on.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You guys are terrible.
Sweet Home would have somebody to pick on if there were people that actually lived in Cascadia, but
I was about to say, when are you going to go further east? You were on a roll there, All right. Well, nice to see everyone. Sorry I was dark. I was unloading groceries and making dinner like somebody else who was just walking off camera. So
Your excuse this time.
Who would that be? I would never do such a thing.
No. All right. Good to see everyone.
And I'd also like to mention that over half of the transmitters at 7QP were Flex radios. So,
That's true.
just for the record.
I have to thank.
And we got the highest score.
Yes.
I'll let you draw your own
Look at the
conclusion.
difference. Yeah.
And it's a shame that you couldn't find that other Flex radio that Scott took home with him.
Oh, that you didn't hear from them that they each had their individual Pelican case and their place there. So, I was pretty organized this year, except for stakes. Mike had to help me out with some stakes, and keeping antennas up in the wind was challenging on Friday.
We got it accomplished.
We did.
The cooking went well.
Oh yeah. I
Excellent.
don't need you,
If
Drew.
you would have been there. It
there.
would have been better
And
if you were there.
and was there a wild horse sighting?
Not for me.
Nope, not this time.
Plenty of manure on the road, but no sightings.
And everybody stayed on the dirt roads.
Yeah, right.
I did get stuck behind a tumbleweed on the drive out there the first time.
Well, you know, we did have a midnight visitor for a couple of nights in the warming hut. So
Mhm.
we
We
did
always do.
some live wildlife.
This was the son of the guy we used to have. This
Yeah.
was a little guy, you know, but he looked like him though. Like
And
a
I would
little-
have been cool with it all, except for, you know, he made tons and tons of noise over there. So,
That's right.
They want to get in the food.
oh man.
Oh, he ate my bagel.
Yeah.
I came in the morning and it was half eaten.
Everything needs to be in plastic.
Yeah, I know. Well, I didn't realize.
Is it a rat or a marmot or what?
What is he?
We didn't stop to get a license.
Some
neither,
sort of
neither a rat, neither a marmot. It's kind of a kangaroo rat looking
Some
creature.
kind of rodent.
Small rodent. Yeah.
But typically we had a guy who was about that big in the past, and this guy was about that big. So, but he looked like a small version of our previous friend.
And he or his friends and relatives also like to hang out in the bathroom. So that
Oh
was
yes, they do.
nice to look around in there when
They're
you're
very small.
It's warm in there.
It's warmer.
going. Warmer, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not 20. It's got, heating in there.
Yeah. If it's 20 out, it's 30 inside the bathroom. So
Yeah. At 1 o'clock in the morning when it's 20 degrees outside, that was not a fun bathroom trip. Let me tell you.
No.
Mike sits there in his castle and laughs at all of us. Ron, you'd appreciate it. Mike comes in a camper, so you and Mike can exchange information about how to set up your castle, so you can look down on all the plebes and tents.
I intentionally got a camper to go off road and rough it a little bit. It's got the solar cell on it,
Mhm.
well, that's perfect.
Yeah. So
Come up next year.
yeah, I'm gonna have to find out where there is, and yes, I don't know
Go
about the
forest.
20 degrees though. That's cold.
Oh, it won't be. No. Don't get us wrong. This is not typical.
No.
Usually, it's much better better weather.
There's been winters where we have not even lit off the wood stove. It has been so
Mhm.
warm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like, well, it's cool outside. It's great working temperature.
Yeah.
But this was the absolute worst it's been, and
And a variety of bad,
just,
right?
yeah, variety of bad. It was just plain bad.
We had
But-
every
But we survived it. I mean, there wasn't
Yeah.
anything that was totally over the top.
yeah.
We
had every-
survived it and got our best score, so
Yep.
Well, we kept the warming hut nice and warm, and it was fine.
yes, Anthony really does a good job with that.
Yeah, he got us all our nice wood,
Hmm.
and we had no problem whatsoever.
Have your arms recovered, Anthony?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How
I'm
does that?
carrying and splitting wood.
Well, I had to cut the
He was
log
splitting
into
the
rounds
wood.
first. So for those that have been up there before, that little ATV trail that runs alongside the warming hut, just a little ways down that, a pretty good sized tree had snapped off and come down across that.
Nice.
So figured kill two birds with one stone, buck some firewood for the shelter and open up the pathway. Turns out I probably should have cut from the other side first, because there were a bunch of ATVers that came through during the middle of the day one day, and we're driving over coax and all that stuff. I'm like, if that log had been in the way, that
Yeah, right. But the coax was okay.
You need to get that spiked coax.
Right.
With my luck, I'll step on it, right? And I go into the bathroom.
Well, anyway, Ron, we have a great time up there. So if you're available next year,
Yeah, it's
Think about it.
outside of Prineville, Oregon, and on the east side of the mountains in the Ochoco National Forest.
Yeah, it's about 30 miles east of Prineville, and it's about a 3-hour drive or 4-hour drive. Well, more than that actually.
And Prineville's kind of northeast of Bend, if you know where Bend is.
Yeah, I was trying to think where I went camping up there near one of the lakes. So I've actually been up there with the camper and some of the, I can't remember what the lake is up there that I was by, but some nice, beautiful country up there. That was, so that if I'm not at the park for field day, my intent is to be up that way somewhere.
Mhm.
Okay.
Always the first weekend in May.
Also up there by the Google Mega Data Center.
No, it's the Facebook
Facebook.
data centers there.
Yeah, I know I went past the Facebook data center and then
Oh,
kind of
Facebook
headed
now.
off back towards 20.
Google's up in Hood River,
Okay.
Mhm.
and
I knew
Amazon's
some,
over in Umatilla area.
Oh, boy.
It's an impressive data center.
Oh,
Yeah. And they're building on it. I noticed when we were going through, there are cranes out there. So, yeah.
is there somebody building a rocket launching pad out there too, or?
Probably. It's not like they'll hit anything if they fall.
Yeah.
But anyway, typically we've had good weather up until this year, and then but we survived it. We were okay.
I don't know. That first year was mighty cold.
Oh yes, yeah. I didn't go up there.
The icicles coming off of me that tear.
Well, if any of you are paddlers, which I am not, I was happen to notice that Lucky Mute Landing has a canoe in campground. And I think it's a 3-county: Polk, Marion, and Lynn. Pretty sure.
Oh,
If
How's
you
that?
look,
CW paddlers or canoe paddlers?
that would be the canoe.
I thought
Good. That was good, Rick. Yeah, I looked at it and it was kind of like, no.
This time of year, that water is running pretty rough through there, especially with all the water runoff.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And I don't know that stream has been cleared at this point in time. So you can still have blowdown washouts and blowdowns that are in the water that you might not be able to get through it. I've done most of that Lucky Mute all the way from way back in all the way out to the Willamette. And there are several places, even midsummer after it's been pretty clear, we had to do 3 different portages, one of them pretty substantial to get around stuff that was already down.
Okay.
No, we tried the first year we were up there when Mike and I and Bill were up there. We tried to do a 3-county up in that same area. I'm trying to remember the other county it was Crook Wheeler and Jefferson, was it? Something like that.
That sounds right.
But anyway, it was too far out from the beaten path that we would have had to lug all the gear. So we decided that 2 was better.
So I was out hunting for easy 2-county lines, and I ended up reading about the history of Benton Lane Park, which is no more.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember there was a wayside across that's since been taken out, and they logged all the firs that were in there. Anybody remember that? It used to be right on the Benton Lane County line on 99.
Yep.
That would have been
well.
That would have been a good little place to.
Well, I mean, technically, you can probably get a permit and go to Willamette Park, and it's close enough to the river that you'll get Benton and Lynn.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
River's
true.
the border, right? So.
Yeah, last year I was looking into all that stuff too because I ended up going on Mary's Peak, but I was looking at the 3-county points that are just around here. The problem is the weather was horrible. It was raining like crazy.
Yeah.
That's the problem in the Cascades. It would have been Grant County was the 3rd one that
Right.
That's
Yeah.
I'd still like to go up to that one county that has never been activated in Wyoming.
Where?
Oh, in Wyoming.
Yeah, Sheridan
This
County.
one?
think
That sounds,
it's never been activated, or if it has, it's only once.
Mhm.
I thought,
What about Idaho? There's a lot of there's a lot of counties in Idaho I've never heard before. You know, I mean, I seen it on the map, but it seems like most of those
Oh.
never got activated either.
Some of us don't want to get too far off the beaten path in Idaho.
No, I know. I'm not suggesting we go, but I'm just saying that there's nobody. I mean, there's a lot of counties that I saw on a map of those. You know, yeah, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, that nobody lives in apparently, or at least there's no hams there.
did they ever get anybody to sign up to say they were gonna operate out of Polk ahead of time? Not Polk, yeah, Polk. They were
Yes,
fishing.
yeah,
they
there
got
was, I know of two people that were going to represent Polk.
Okay, yeah, because I just remember kept reading they were fishing for somebody.
Yeah, they were.
Did anybody get Yamhill County?
Be surprised if they didn't.
Because I got 2 operators from Yamhill. I think I worked 2 people.
And I heard like a Columbia County in there somewhere. So at some point in time. So I think they got Columbia. It's hard to tell because, I mean, you don't end up getting a lot of local people unless you really try. I mean, Mike had the best chance because he was on 40. You don't get any local people on 20.
Yeah, 40 is sometimes okay, but 80 is always your bread and butter for getting local counties.
But even on 20 meters, the close-in stuff, I got several Deschutes County stations.
Did you?
Yeah, on 20.
Wow.
Because it's like, you know, we know that we can get very localized within a few miles on 20 meters due to maybe knife edge diffraction and things like that.
Just ground wave.
Yeah,
Or,
I
or
I have
straight.
to remember that my antenna was pointing away from those people, so that's why I didn't get
Yeah,
them.
yeah, you were exactly. You had a good front to back. So,
Yeah.
but they were out there.
yeah, I got 10 on 20 and 40. I think
Like
he
I
was
s-
kind of surprised.
Well,
This is
Olin,
my first contact.
I heard you sneak in there, but on somebody I was trying to get, but you got him, and then that was that. So, and I only did phone. So,
Well, you know, as much as Mike talked up CW, which is really awesome that Scott did as well as he did, we had a whole lot of 20-meter phone contacts.
You did
Yeah.
absolutely marvelous out there. I mean, that was just so cool to see. I mean, you were just knocking them down left and right.
Oh, and I was so glad that Scott and I didn't totally obliterate each other and we were on both ends of the band. That tickled me. So
Thanks to those radios.
That's
I was
that's the
wondering
way
about
it's
that.
supposed to work. That's the
Well,
way it's
in the
supposed to work.
past, I brought my old 706, which you can't compare with the filtering, and that's what killed it. But now, you know,
well, the 6400 will be at field day if you'd like.
well,
As long as I'm in town, there's a chance that I may have to be in Austin. So
Okay. Well, we do have 7300s now. At least I have access to them. So that would be the next, excuse me, the next best thing.
actually, even if I'm out of town, let me know and I'll give you the Pelican case as long as it comes back.
Don't count on it. No.
Yeah.
Just put Flanders on the side of the case.
Flanders.
He's got a locator chip buried in plastic.
Yeah, right.
Stupid Flanders.
So that Sheridan County, I'm looking at some of the maps and it looks like there is a 3-county line that would be Sheridan County in Wyoming, and then Bighorn and Bighorn County, and I can't pull up the map's not showing me the other one. But it looks like there's a tri-county line that does include that Sheridan County, and at that point, it does appear to be BLM land.
Well, I don't know whether you can get there by road or not, but And it doesn't look like there's very many motels in Sheridan County either.
No, I think you would have to probably. The town of Sheridan looks like it's fairly sprawling. There's a couple hotels in there. Stay in Sheridan and.
Did they let you put up antennas on the roof?
He's gonna use a mag
Yeah,
loop.
roughly.
Run a cable down, run it in your window.
Yeah.
Well, you can have one on your balcony, supposedly.
I don't know why I'm not invited back to that hotel anymore.
Well, I guess I'll say good night to everybody.
Yeah.
I don't want.
Okay,
So-
well, see you.
Anyway, thank you to the 7Q peers. I had a lot of fun, as I said, while I was there, and it was a great time. So
Well, thank
thanks
you.
for the warm welcome back after a few year hiatus.
Good to have you
Thank
back.
you. You made it for us. You know, everybody. It's fun just to have the camaraderie. You know.
Yep.
It is, and everybody helped everybody else out, right? So I appreciate all the help getting the beam up and making sure it stayed up and things like that. I mean, it's a pretty substantial aluminum tripod that was up there that was bending at the top like this, that the wind was so bad. With a hex beam, I mean, the hex beam doesn't have that much wind surface area to it compared to a lot of other stuff you put up there. And yeah, that thing was bending at the top. So we were getting severe winds.
We had some significant wind. You know.
I'm actually super bummed that I missed it because I love weather.
Oh,
Snow and cold, I'm all good with that.
yeah, you would love this.
You know, like I say, the snow and rain didn't bother me as much as the winds did. The winds just impossible to work antennas and get everything up. And
Yes.
that's what made it miserable for me.
And the tennis ball launcher accidentally hits you in the back of the head. Oh, wait, no, that was just my sister.
Accidentally.
Exactly.
Well, I had my fishing sinker launcher.
That would hurt more.
If you got hit in the head with that thing, man, forget about it.
Scott did an absolutely marvelous job using his little launcher there, hanging an antenna up
But I
in the
got
tree.
20. I got
I
20.
did-
Okay, I have to tell you, Mike, wait, before you think my launcher is useless, it was actually broken, and you know, I couldn't pressurize it as much as I needed to. That's why that first one only went up 20 feet, because if I put any higher pressure in there to get it higher, I would have blown the thing apart. So I was kind of like limping on that one, so that's why. But normally I can get that sinker up a good 80 feet, maybe higher.
You just needed more duct tape.
So
It
did
needed-
your pride get in the way? I mean, I could have come out and done it in 2 shots.
I know you could have. No, it was partly that. It was partly like, damn it, I gotta get this thing up there, and why isn't it working, and why am I having all these problems? I didn't want to bother you, and so I figured you're probably having some fun contesting or whatever you were doing in there. That was on Friday. That's true.
Scott, that's rubbish. I always like helping people.
I
That's
know,
the thing I enjoy.
I know.
So don't go pulling that one on me.
You know, Scott, it is the poor craftsman that blames his tools, right? I mean, really.
Well, in this case, I have to say,
It's like the video gamer that's like, this controller sucks, man. It's like, no, you suck, dude.
no, this truly was. It was broken. The it's PVC, so the PVC glue in one joint gave way, and if I pressurized it beyond 20 psi, it just blew apart. So I had to keep it below 20 psi, which limited the height that the sinker could go. Normally I pressurize up to 60 or 70, and then bam, it really goes off.
Well, Scott's feat on CW is even, more impressive, considering that he had this woman that was operating sideband behind him that was constantly haranguing him to get on the radio and make more contacts, right? I mean,
That's true.
making QSOs and that kind of adversity takes a lot of perseverance.
See, well, you were encouraging me to continue. We were all trying trying to do. I usually go all the way to the very end. I love it when right at at midnight or whatever time the contest is supposed to end. It's like bam! You look at the waterfall and it's completely lit up, and then right at midnight it goes dark. Everybody's off the air.
That's
So
right.
it's really I love that.
I gave up when, I called CQ for like a half an hour on.
Nobody was coming back. Yeah.
Nobody was there, and all the stations I could hear going to search and pounce were the same ones I'd heard for the last 2 hours. So, I would have went to the end, but that was like,
Yeah.
20 at least. And Mike was hogging 40, so I didn't go there.
And aren't logs due like tomorrow or something?
Yep,
So you didn't submit it.
the 18th.
18.
Today, I believe it's the 16th.
Day after.
But you already submitted the log, right, Mike?
Yep, yeah. Actually, today I was going back and just double checking a couple things, and darn it, I found some errors in there. Normally, when I do that extraction, it includes everybody's call sign that was in there. And this year, when I did that extraction, it didn't include everybody's call sign. All it had was W7PRA, which no, there. So anyway, I fixed that up, resubmitted it, so it's all good.
Thank you.
I was hoping you were going to say that you found several cases where Scott had forgot to do the county line, and so we actually scored more points.
Well, next
No.
time be aware of that.
So
Sorry.
anyway,
All right.
Take care, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes.
we'll see ya.
Nice to see
Take
you
care.
all.
All right, good night.
And-
Happy hunting.